I decided I'm going to remake a chocolate chip cookie. I know it's been done a million times, but I'm going to figure out how to make it so that it's more whole food based, less processed, less inflammatory, but it tastes incredible.
How do you make a splash in the global cookie market, which is expected to grow $28 billion by 2028? For Lauren Castle, founder of Sweet Lauren's, it started with making them as healthy as possible.
I just wanted to eat my favorite foods, just having them be cleaner. And I wanted to make sure, of course, that it was the most incredibly delicious thing I'd ever eaten too.
While battling cancer at the age of 23, Lauren searched for a way to still do what brought her joy, bake and eat cookies. However, to avoid inflammation, she had to be sure that they were more natural and less processed. This would ultimately turn into a business selling packaged cookie dough at grocery stores nationwide.
I was like, I want to feed myself healthy food for the rest of my life because I want to thrive. I don't want to ever be sick. I want my body to feel great. I want it to heal.
Today, Sweet Lauren's products are sold nationwide in over 35,000 stores and are exclusively vegan, gluten-free, and allergen-free. The company, which says it's expecting to bring in $120 million in gross sales in 2025, has expanded beyond packaged cookie dough to include breakfast biscuits, puff pastry dough, and thin crust pizza.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of batches later, I finally came up with these cookie recipes that I was like, this is the best cookie I've ever had.
During her summers home from college in 2005 and 2006, Lauren worked at her local bakery.
My local bakery growing up in New York City on the Upper West Side was a bakery called Levan Bakery, and I saw people line up down the block for them. I think that's really where I fell in love with the magic that baking can have.
Then, right after graduation, Lauren was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma at the age of 22.
It was soul crushing. This was not what I had planned for myself. I was actually supposed to move back to LA, and my doctor said, you're gonna have to cancel that plane ticket. We have a lot of testing. After they did a biopsy of one of my lymph nodes, I was diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma, had to start 6 months of chemotherapy immediately.
Lauren began to see a therapist at the time and attributes her with helping her change her mindset.
She helped me rewire my brain as opposed to feeling sorry for myself. Something in me just changed. I didn't want to be sad anymore. And I decided to take control of the situation as much as I could. I just took my life so seriously. I wanted to make sure I was taking care of it. I wanted to make sure that I was living my life to the fullest every day.
During her chemotherapy, Lauren turned to baking at home.
It brought so much joy to me. And it was like a natural therapy to just kind of escape from the world and be in your own kitchen and be creating something magical that always makes everyone happy.
In 2007, Lauren was cancer-free and tried to begin her career again.
This is actually an amazing story, and how, in some situations, when tragedy happens, when unexpected things happen, they could be, a curse, but also a blessing in the same time, and how your life can change based on, tough situations. And she was able to create, a new life for herself, after, having to go through, the health, issues and some of the, things that she had to go through. And we're going to see how that, played from her being an employee at a bakery to then now being an owner of it.
I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. If anything, I was very lost. I tried to work for a PR company. I tried to work in finance. I tried to work in the food and wine industry. And I was miserable. I just didn't find my thing. At the end of the day, after I was trying one of these jobs, I'd come home and I would always bake because I was like creating a full recipe binder.
For Lauren, it became very important that the cookies she baked were made with natural ingredients.
My doctor, he just said, eat kind of normal, simple foods. I just started to look within and figure out what intuitively was nourishing my own body. I brought in every single type of sugar and sweetener I could find, all the different types of natural less processed flours, whole grain flours, different types of oils, different types of salts. I just became in love with natural ingredients. I couldn't find any great recipes. And so, kind of out of that frustration, I decided I'm going to remake a chocolate chip cookie. I know it's been done a million times, but I'm going to figure out how to make it so that it's more whole food based, less processed, less inflammatory, but it tastes incredible.
Lauren began to sell her homemade cookies at farmers markets for $2 to $3 a cookie. Over the next few years, she worked tirelessly on her recipes.
Baking is science, it's chemistry. I just became really good at finally understanding how these ingredients work together. The amount of feedback was so positive, and it was showing me that there was a need out there, that people were so excited to find something that was better for you and so delicious. That started to grow from a hobby to, wait a minute, is this a little business?
Lauren decided to take a business writing course to help her launch her passion. She would often bring a fresh batch of cookies to class for the other students.
I will say them cookies look really good. They look really good. I got this thing at night. I ain't gonna lie. In the afternoon, I have a craving for chocolate, and my wife knows that. Around that 6, 7, 8 o'clock time frame, I'm always like, yeah, I'll take some cookies or brownies, something. Chocolate chip specifically is definitely a thing for me personally. But this is just a great example of how a person can use something that she is good at personally and then create a business out of it, right? And how you can solve a problem, and not necessarily a problem when it comes to the cookies specifically, but the natural ingredients and some of the, things that we put into, cookies specifically. She was able to, tap into that market, and it obviously went viral and continued to be something of a level of success. And also something that we also got to understand is that sometimes you got to put your product out, you put your service out at a cheaper price. She did it at farmers market. She sold it for only $2 to $3. You start getting the traction, you start getting the reputation, and you can really start to grow your business, to then be able to put it out there on the market so that everyone can wants it, and then you start to get that demand, and obviously you can then raise prices a little bit. But great story about how a person can go through a tragic situation, kind of refine themselves when it comes to what they want to do for their life, with their career, and then taking the thing that they do really well personally and then putting it out there from a business side of things, and then ultimately making a career and a success story out of it.
I was deciding, should I open a bakery or should I create a CPG, consumer packaged product? And if I do create a packaged product, what type would it be? Would it be a baking mix? Would it be cookie dough? Would it be baked cookies? And this guy in the business writing class worked in Whole Foods in the overnight shift to restock shelves. And I asked him, how does one even get into Whole Foods? And he said, let me talk to my boss. He called me the next day and was like, Lauren, you have a meeting on Wednesday with the head buyer at the Columbus Circle location, which was my local Whole Foods. And so I didn't have a packaged product yet. All I had were recipes. I made 12 different flavors of cookies and put them in a beautiful red box. Both the buyer and I fell in love with the concept of cookie dough because everyone loves a warm, fresh baked treat. He said, no one's built the next brand name that stands for natural in cookie dough. And then he called me the next day after he met with the rest of the buyers and the team. And he said, Lauren, everyone loved it. I told him it would take a month. And of course, it took 7 months to find a factory, design packaging, scale up recipes, figure out how to really go from my kitchen to a packaged product.
Lauren says she used $25,000 of her personal savings to start her company. In 2011, the first 5 flavors of packaged cookie dough hit the shelves at Whole Foods in New York's Columbus Circle: chocolate chunk, oatmeal cranberry, brownie batter, peanut butter oatmeal, and espresso chocolate chunk.
If someone like Whole Foods is ready to trust me and to place an order for my cookie dough, then I have to be all in and ready to show up 100%. I'm the one who's going to either make this work or not.
Lauren's company faced many obstacles in its early years.
I was the only employee for the first couple of years, and I was just exhausted trying to figure out where the best factories were, how to come up with new flavors, how to think about growth, how to get into more supermarkets. Those were the really challenging, hard years of figuring out how to get to scale, how to prove our concept, not just in natural, better for you supermarkets, but in mainstream grocery.
The company has decided to switch factories 5 times over the years to meet its needs.
I realized packaging needed to improve and get better. And to get into other supermarkets, I needed to really look like the packaging of the big guys that were on the shelf. It's so competitive in a supermarket. You have to be able to grab someone's attention and say what you're about and what your most important attributes are in 3 seconds.
In April 2016, Sweet Lawrence was able to attain national distribution at Publix and later on at Kroger the same year in August.
Both Publix and Kroger really kind of helped us launch nationally and prove the concept in conventional supermarkets. And so through that distribution, I was able to start really growing the company.
After listening to customer feedback and making many minute tweaks to the recipe, Sweet Lawrence changed the nutrition of its whole lineup. Starting in April 2018, all of the company's products were vegan, gluten-free, and allergen-free.
So what you see here is she was able to take something that we eat, you know, on a daily basis when it comes to cookies, and tap into a market that, like the gentleman said, the business market director, he stated that there's no one in this market when it comes to the gluten-free, allergen-free, dairy-free like market for, cookies specifically, right? So how can you meet a need when it comes to entrepreneurship? Can you take something that you do really well? One of the reasons why I'm even on YouTube in the first place is because I took finance in college and I'm excellent at this particular thing, and I will have a passion for giving information out as well as helping people when it comes to their financial space in their lives, right? So how can you take something that you're really good at, that you have a passion for, and ultimately provide a product or a service to where you can then be compensated for it? And in her case, she took her baking ability, expanded to, into Whole Foods, started off at the farmer's market, and then was able to connect with a few people, use relationships to be able to get into Whole Foods, and then use that relationship to then expand to Kroger and some of these other high chain, you know, uh, food stores, to be able to then, showcase her product. But then if you pay attention, she also went through more trial and tribulation when it comes to the packaging, the advertising, the marketing, even some of the ingredients had to be updated. So entrepreneurship is always changing. We always got to make adjustments. We always got to do new things. And, it's hard to be an entrepreneur as much as everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. It's not an easy thing to do, but this is an amazing story of a woman was able to make it, in spite of some of the challenges that she has. So I really love this, man. I continue to want to put out some of this information so people can see in real time how others have, been being successful as entrepreneurs, how we budget, how we invest, things like that in real time, so people can take it not just from someone speaking at a mic, but also from a real life situation. Man, I love you guys and I appreciate y'all. Continue to subscribe to the channel, support the platform, hit the like button, share this content when someone needs to hear it, man. I love y'all. I'm out. Antoine Smalls. Peace.